Good afternoon. Sorry for little bit of delay because of power outage. Now let us start on this workshop. This is a combination of seminar and workshop. And the topic, as you know, is AI assistance for research and systematic literature review. Uh, and nowadays, actually, this topic occurred to me because of one interview. Uh, One of our faculty members, Dr. Dhruvacharan Panda, was appearing at one interview in which he was asked one question. The question was, in the age of ChatGPT, how are you planning to handle the misuse of these GPTs? So based on that, from that day, this topic occurred to me about AI assistance. So whether it is proper to use AI in your research or it is improper, and if it is improper, then what is the use of AI? So based on that, I have prepared this seminar. Particularly, we will start with seeing what is this AI assistance. AI assistance is related to machine. Machine, when we say machine, I mean computers, computer and computer systems. Now with machine, when we have a computer system, then we usually program the computer, and that gradually advance to a level in which we can program it, the computer or the system or the machine, to think like human beings. If that happens, then we call it artificial intelligence. This is the start of the journey of the modern age. What we say AI age, this is the start of the journey. It was programmed like humans or programmed to think like humans. The next stage come when the machine started acting without explicit programming. Implicit programming will be there, but explicitly for a what it programming was not necessary. So because the machine learned, that is why these are called machine learning. So the next stage was machine learning. Then came the deep learning, in which the machine used layers of networks. In the artificial neural network, it used layers, more number of hidden layers to learn whatever it is trying to learn. So that is deep learning. Then finally, we have reached a stage where we are calling it generative AI, where the machine is creating new data. So you don't require programs like ChatGPT. You give a question, it creates its own data and gives you an answer. So those are called generative AI. So these are the four stages of development till now. We don't know what will happen in future, but till now these are the four stages of development. Now, when we use this generative AI, which is in rampant use nowadays among not only among researchers, among public in general, it is in rampant use. So, when you use this, we have to be little bit cautious because if you look at this, uh, there are some problems. Now, before those attending to those problems, particularly one problem, let me tell you how this model, this AI model, is to be successful. How people are making it a successful model. In computer science, not in electronics, we don't know that. Manas sir will be able to tell it. In computer science, it is said that if you give garbage to the system, The system output is garbage. System gives you in return garbage. So for a successful modeling, you should not give garbage to the system. So input data should not be erroneous, should not be inaccurate, should not be homogeneous. It should be heterogeneous. Then it will learn properly, and it should be filtered there in a particular area. It should be balanced. It should not be incomplete. It should be complete data, and it should represent whatever you are trying to find out. And sampling should be random. It should not be and should not be uniform. And too small data, these are all these all result in an output which is biased, which can be non-generalizable, which is unreliable, inaccurate, and particularly unethical. Now, why it is unethical, that we'll see later. Now let us come to the output data that you get output, whether you have given proper data or improper data, some output you will get. Now, in the generative AI, a term is called hallucination. Uh, and like lunatic people, they hallucinate. Similarly, the machine hallucinate. Now, the most popular is the GPT-4, and this is the generative AI which is most popular. It gives you output with a accuracy of 97%, which means there is 3% of hallucination rate. Then you go down, ChatGPT 4 Turbo is about 97%, 3.5 which is free, ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4 Turbo. Both are paid tools, ChatGPT 3.5 and below. These are unpaid free tools. Their accuracy is below 97%, so 3.5% of hallucination. Hallucination means it will give you wrong results, but it will appear to be a correct result. To you, it will appear to be a correct result. For example, suppose you want a write-up and you have said to ChatGPT that give me this write-up with proper citations. So it will give you a write-up with citations. When you check the citations will be improper. Those citations may not exist, but if you look at the citation that ChatGPT has given you, it will look like a proper reference. But that reference, that paper may not be available, and that will be erroneous paper or representation. That is what is called hallucination. So there is a problem that you will get into a trap without knowing. If you do not know how to use ChatGPT properly and ethically, and if you give this in your paper, if you are writing a paper, if you give this reference, uh, definitely you will be caught, and they will know that you are using some generative AI, and this is an unethical practice. They will say that it is an unethical practice. Why it is unethical practice? Because the write-up that you are giving or the paper that you are submitting is not your own. The writing is not your own. It is written by a machine. So somebody else. So there are hundreds of people who have written, or thousands of people who have written something from those things. Those write-offs, the machine has collected a portion, some portions, and it has connected them and given you. So there are two problems here. Because it collects data from its data bank, the the write-up that the machine gives you can be plagiarized. That is one problem. Second is it is unethical because you have not written it. Somebody else has written it. In this case, somebody else is the machine. So that is unethical. You have to write your own paper. If somebody else writes it, it is your idea is there, but somebody else writes it completely, then it is unethical. So these two issues are always there. Those are to be apprehended. Now, how to do that? That we will see. So, first is when you are using generative AI models, how to avoid hallucination. yeah, when you are using it in academic use. So let us look at three steps. The first step is look at the output that the machine has given you. ChatGPT or Bing or Google Gemini. Now it is called Gemini. Earlier it was called Bard. So what is the output that has given you? Look at the output that is given by the machine. Critically analyze it, look at if there is any bias, like I gave you the example in which there will be errors. So the errors are biased, because of biasing, those errors will come. So look at those things, find out if there are errors, eliminate that, rewrite it properly in your own language instead of using the language given by the machine. So first thing is critically verify. So if you critically verify the write up the output that has come from the machine, you will mitigate the biased output. Second is use supplementary data, which means the question that you are giving to the machine to give you an answer, divide that question into many parts, and each part you give each part first question you give, then give you a supplementary question following that, then give you a supplementary next supplementary question following that. So that way, if you keep on going there, the answer will be refined gradually, it will be refined. Machine will learn continuously what you are trying to know exactly, and answer will be refined. You will get a proper answer which you can then modify according to your own requirement and using your own language. Next is validate whatever is given, validate it, which means validate it with what is existing. So suppose it has given you a reference, the example that I gave you, validate whether that a reference is existing and whether that reference paper is proper for the write-up that you are preparing using the ChatGPT. So you do that validate, then you will have, then there will be no ethical considerations, and you can collaborate with others, you can collaborate with the machine for validating this. So these are three important suggestions to avoid hallucination. But remember, you cannot avoid hallucination completely if you depend on the machine solely. Now, to do these things, you have to give proper prompts to the machine. I'll give you some examples of prompts. Those who have joined in YouTube, in the description, I have provided the link to the prompts, so you can download that link and you can use this during our discussion. And those who have registered, I have mailed them the prompts and the links that is required. So please download those things, get ready with those prompts and whatever I have given that we'll be using. Now, what are the tips for generating proper prompts? Then we'll see the prompts. First is, as I told just now, continue prompting, which means give one prompt, then give a supplementary prompt, then give a supplementary prompt. Keep on giving prompts till you get the desired output. That is the first tip that you must follow whenever you are using ChatGPT or anything like ChatGPT. Next, the second is remember that you cannot prompt, you cannot give a prompt to avoid hallucination completely. Therefore, whatever prompt you are giving, you must always evaluate the output. So use your own thinking, your own mind to evaluate the output. Don't be completely dependent on the machine, because with the present technology, we cannot avoid hallucination of the machine. It is predicted that by 2047, maybe hallucination will be dropped to below 0.1%. So in that case, maybe uh, you can avoid to a large extent. But 3% is a very large extent of hallucination. Next. Finally, when you are giving prompts, give examples. Examples means give examples to Tell the machine what you want as the output. Give an example saying that I want output like this. I want output like this. If the question is like this, I want output like this. But now my question is this, give me the output. So I'll give few short prompts with examples. Next. Now, with this background on generative AI, let us look at how the AI or generative AI can assist us in our research. Those who are new to research, those students who are trying to do PhD, or those who are trying to write their thesis in the MSc or MTech project work, for them, they can take AI assistance in developing their research or shaping their research. Now, how to do that? So, to do that, before doing that, we have to make a strategy. The strategy is available at this web page. The web link is given here. You can look into this link. Just a minute, I'll show you the link. If you go to the link, then what you will see is this. Okay, this is the link. So if you go to the link, it says you AI sandwich. What it does says use AI tools for beginning and end of an assignment. Here it can be your report or anything. With the middle, so AI is at the beginning, AI is the at the end, and the middle is your knowledge and your expertise. Let us come back and put it in the format. You can always go to this link and see it. I have given this link also in the handout. So what it says is basically this. First step is you have to have an input, AI assisted input. So initial AI input, where AI is used for idea generation, for brainstorming, or literature exploration. So these three things you can use AI. There is no ethical issues, or it is not unethical to generate idea, to brainstorm, or explore literature using AI. This part is for you to know. So you are not giving it to others. Next is second step is you have to give your based on that whatever data you have collected from this, give your own input. This is human input. So write the draft yourself. You take help of AI, but write the draft yourself. So you prepare it. It is your own work. There is no unethical issue there. It is ethical. Finally, again, come back to AI, take its feedback. So AI will act as an expert peer reviewer and it will suggest you revisions. Now once it suggests you revisions, you revise your writing or drafting, then go back to AI. So put it in a loop till you are satisfied with your writing, then you submit your writing. So this is the AI assisted research or AI assisted research writing. Basically, it is AI assisted research writing and AI assisted.
Can I just pause you for a moment here?
Yes, yes, sir.
So
Sure.
yeah, in the last page, maybe you are trying to ask the Chat GPT to rephrase a particular paragraph. Do you
No,
think that is also that is unethical? You
no.
have written a draft. You
Mm,
yourself have written a draft, but then
mm,
for a better English, for a better presentation style, you are asking Chat GPT to rephrase it or rewrite it, and then it gives you a paragraph. And you
mm.
have gone through it and you find it's acceptable. Sometimes you find the sentences are not logically related. You make small changes. Even after that, do you think it's an ethical practice or unethical?
Paraphrasing actually, what you are saying is paraphrasing.
Exactly.
Paraphrasing, some people are saying it is unethical, some people, some journals are accepting it because the idea is yours.
Hmm.
Your own idea, your own writing is improved like you are using, people are using Grammarly, or
Hmm.
you write something and you give it to a English professor to make corrections.
Right.
Right. So those things are acceptable some to a group, that is acceptable.
Hmm.
But to another group it is not acceptable. So there is no
Okay.
proper thing whether it is acceptable or it is not acceptable. That is not proper. But as I know, IEEE is accepting it.
Okay.
Uh, AIP is accepting it. So the even AIP, I will give you an example how AIP is accepting it. That I will give an example later. So they
Hmm.
are accepting it. So some people are accepting it. Others are saying that no, paraphrasing. When it is unethical, purely unethical, is if you generate something, some text by ChatGPT, then you paraphrase it. That is unethical. That is
Hmm.
undoubtedly unethical. But
Okay.
if you have written it, your own writing, then you are paraphrasing it using ChatGPT. That is gray area.
Hmm.
But people say that it can be acceptable. It is ethical. So that
Wow.
is what it is. Okay. And
Okay.
now when we come to research, I will assume that we are at this scratch. So we have decided that I will do a research. We are going to our faculty member or supervisor, the student as a student. We are going to a faculty member or supervisor, and we want to get a topic. Sometimes you are lucky. There can be three situations. Sometimes you are lucky. You get sufficient time from your supervisor, and they give you some idea and that okay you work in this field, you they will give you a paper, read this paper or read these papers, these are review papers. So that is how it starts mostly in many cases. But in higher education, particularly if you are in IITs or if you are outside, if you go outside, there it is reverse. The supervisor says that you come with your idea, we'll define it, then you do your research. You know what is my specialization, you know my field, you come out with your idea. Mostly
So,
people do that.
so in that case, the guide turns out to be a critic rather than a real guide,
Yes,
right? In most
yes,
cases, in most of the reputed institutions, the guides are always the critics.
critic. They don't give you anything.
Yes, that's
Because
right.
they want to gain knowledge out of you. You are younger generation, you give them new knowledge.
Yeah,
It
great.
is not that and not the other way around as we do it in our university.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Ah,
Hmm.
right. So in that case, you have to generate idea. First is you there should be idea with you in the field in which you want to work. So you have decided that I will work with such and such person, and his field is this. Then I have you have to generate idea. So let us go through that process first. So from this point onward, those who are scholars, research scholars, I want them to follow me. If you have, definitely you have internet connections. Open Google. In the Google search, write WISE one. So WISE one that I have given here. So let's say markup. So if you write that, then you will go to this page. WISE one, your AI powered reading tool. So you will come to this page. Uh, and sure, this will be helpful to you. So click on that. Then you will come to this page. Once you click on that, then you will come to a tool. Actually, it is a app. It is an app. The Wise one is one app for Chrome. This also works on Edge that I have seen. So this either you can use it in Chrome or you can use it in Edge, whatever browser you are using. In that you can use it. So come to this, then click on Add to Chrome. Then next. Once you do that, you will come to this screen. So come to Add to Chrome. Click on Add to Chrome. Then you will get this. So now click on Add Extension. So when you click on add extension, you will go to this web page in which you will see my account. So go to my account. So it will ask you to give you your username and password. So here you can give your mail address, then you can give a password. Either you do this if you are using a Google browser, Chrome browser, or Edge browser, whatever is your username for that browser, and that you can give here. Otherwise, if you do not want, there will be many screens where you or many places where you do not want to give your username. Then there is a trick. Go to this page, temp-mail.org.in, temporary mail. So you will get this. It will give you give you an email like this. Something, it will a random email will be generated that you can copy. So there is a copy sign that you can click, and it will be copied to your clipboard. Use this. Okay. So use this mail instead of that. Once you use this mail, below that, what you saw below that, this page and this portion will appear in which whatever, if they are trying to verify your email, that verification mail will come to this inbox. So there you can take it like it is your Gmail box. Hmm. I'll show you one example here. Uh, I have given login. So in the login, email address. Ah, so I am giving my name. My name. I am not giving my name. I do not want to give my name. So what I am doing is using that email. First person is my name. Okay. Then anything I can choose student PhD. Okay. Here you can say friend, colleague, anything. Then I have read. I have then sign up with email. Then it will ask you email. Give the email password. What we do is usually we give the password. .com we remove, put something 1 2 3 4 5 in place of .com. So the email is your password. This is what I do. Then it is asking for verification code. Now you can see the verification code. It is asking for verification code. You can see that it has come to the inbox. The verification code has come here. You can give that verification code. So this is how you are going to use. You can use temp mail, temporary mail. That is what you can do. This is for lit maths. I will come to that later. I hope you have understood it, how to do the lit math thing. Anyway, you come here, change your password, give new password, etc. Next. So once it is installed, the app is installed in the Chrome or in your browser, then in the browser you have to activate it. So to activate is go to this icon, click on this icon. If you click on this icon, there will be a drop down list. In the drop down list, somewhere there will be wise one. Here you can see. Here you can see. Here it is the I1. So on the bell sign, then you click on the bell sign. As when you click on the bell sign, then you will see on the browser you have a W sign. On the browser top right corner, for wise one emblem or wise one icon will appear which looks like a W. Do that. And then click on that W sign. It will say enable wise one on app.wise1.io. Click on this. So it will enable them. So wise one is enabled. Now let me go to wise one to find out or identify the research question and research problem statement. These two, for these two, I need some idea. Initial idea I require and initial paper I require. Wise one, wise one, wise one. Huh? No, no, wise one, open wise one. Wise one the finance. Now, no, no, not wise one. Wise one is open. So open your, once that is done, open your browser. In the browser, you give your research idea. Suppose I am working on RFID, radio frequency identification. So what I will do is recent trends in RFID. Let me write this in the Google. Something you have to write, some research idea where you are working. So let me give it research trends in RFID. So once it comes here, research trends in RFID, uh, you can see wise one is on. So take a look. Message me. Right. ना जोटा खुला है portable RFID reader. uh, yes. So there, if you put there, it says you can cross check it at these points. These are where about RFID reader is there. Now, if you do not understand something, there will be underlined. So typical terms will be underlined. So click, uh, handheld devices. What is handheld devices? It will tell you what is a handheld devices. Wise one will give you answer. So this is how you will understand what is available there. Now let me see one paper. Next, let me try to see on one paper, PDF paper, wherever a PDF paper is available. Let me try to find out a PDF paper if there is one. Okay, open that. Now, so download out that. Not. It has to. Oh, you have to open it in your. No, no, second way. Browser. Open it in the browser. PDF. Open it in the browser. Back. Correct. Okay, now you can see. Here this file, if you look at this file, there are underlines, etc. And because of these underlines, it will be helping you to read the paper. What does that mean? What is transponder? That it describes transponder, etc. Now come to the right hand side. There is a W. Click on that. Summarize. Click on summarize. So this will give you the key takeaways of this paper. So from this, you will understand what are the main findings of the papers, key takeaways of the papers. Go down. Then the summary of the paper. Read this. Read this. If they are attractive, you find that okay, this paper is good. I can start with this paper. Then uh, next. Then you can ask anything about this question paper. So there is this question. You can ask a question. I'm not asking a question here. Next,
Uh,
explore.
j- just a minute, Mr. Olu.
Ah, ah.
Actually, the summary is also prepared by the author of the paper, or that is
No, no,
generated by some tool.
no. It is
The summary of
generated
the
by
paper.
wise one. Wise one.
Wise one.
This
Okay.
tool. This wise one.
Mhm.
I told you. This is generating the summary. It is generating the takeaways or the main
Okay.
finding.
Mhm.
It is generated by that. So you can read that and understand that. Then you decide. Once you decide, then you can explore the paper. Explore the paper means explore the work. What are the related work in news? This is you can see there is news. These are the news about. Then in academics means papers, mostly papers and reports published in the academic field. So these are papers. So if and this, a short write up on the paper and the paper. So if you want any of the papers, you can take that paper, or if you can go to videos. So based on this, you generate some idea on what research you may work. It is not the research that you will work, but some research on you may work. Let me download this paper. So suppose I am satisfied with this paper, I want to work with this paper. So I will download this citation or download this paper. So download this. Let me download the paper. So I have downloaded the paper. Okay. Next is from this paper, what I will do. Go to next PPT. So from this paper, I am going to find out, identify research questions and identify research problems. These are two things that I am going to do. To identify research questions, go to this website or go to this link. Go to this link. I have opened that link. You can, because you can see it, you can go to that link. So if you have done that, you wise one, come to this link. The link is here. So the link shows you this page. It says, whenever you are ready, please provide your full research problem statement so that we can review and discuss it too. So here you can say, type something. Here type what is the recent trend in chipless RFID. You can do this in your whatever field you are in. You write this way, what is the recent trend in chipless RFID? Then next. So you give your own field own thing. पता दिया back to next. So you will get this. Enter the criteria guidelines for your problem statement. So give your guidelines. We want to identify and work on designing chipless RFID. So this is a sort of criteria or research problem. Next. So type type in the research statement. Next. PPT. So let us pass that research problem statement. So that was a mistake. Research question comes after the statement. So let us come to the statement, research statement, research problem statement. Let me try this one. Set up a fast out. Set up fast to fill up. Our research topic is, you give any research topic in 1 to 2 sentence. I am giving the research topic as designing RFID tags or RFID tag antennas. Next. Next. Same person. सेम टू द police. Actually, it should come, so say, Yakuza, Aratok, last. No, return. Yakuza, academic insight for last. Research driven generator, এটা কোটা give me a minute I have come to the wrong website research statement কোটা ছিল এটা তো মেথড আমি মিউট করতে লিখি মিউট করতে କଣ କହିଲି ତ ମିଉଟ କରିଦେ ମତେ ହଁ ହଁ ଏବେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟଟା କୋଉଠି ଅଛି ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ କେମିତି ବାହାର କରିବି okay so now what we'll do is first we'll new पे जा new new thread new thread. Here go to next. It will ask to upload your research paper that you have got. So upload that research paper. So upload that research paper. No, সেটা নেই আবার যেটা ডাউনলোড করে সেটা and so the one that is downloaded so it will give you a summary of that research paper first it will give you a summary of the research paper দেখে পুরো উপর দেখা আরম্ভରୁ দেখা so point wise it summarizes the abstract then the history in the introduction then the introduction, recent trends, RFID tag types, significance of system, then conclusion, everything is summarized. Then it asks you to give any question if you want. So I'll give you the question. Now I will give the question. Question is suggest few research problems suggest few problems for further research. Suggest few problems for further research in this field. Enter. कौन से टास्क में हाँ? Now you can see suggested problems for further research. So it is giving you out 5, 6 problems it will give you. So take one of those problems. Then ask the question, give a problem statement for the following research, for the following problem. Give a problem statement for the following problem. Ah, so you have got your research problem and you have got the research problem statement. So topic and statement both are generated by the AI. So this is where it helps you. You are not using it to uh, report. So this is for your own use. You are getting the research problem for all your own use, which is not unethical. You are getting the research problem statement for your own use, which is not unethical. Both these are ethical. So keep these two with you ready for further use. Once we know these two, then we are going to use it further. Next. So once you have identified these two, then the next stage is usually you have to read research papers related to this. And when you read the research paper related to this, without wasting time, what you can do is use the write a review paper also because you have read the research papers, then you write a review paper. So we are going to write in the review paper. So that is what is called literature review. Now, literature review, usually what we do is we use a narrative literature review. Mostly, if you look at the literature review across all disciplines, the literature review is narrative. By narrative literature review, you have the traditional method of reading it, then what you understand that you write. So it is basically containing some bias. What opinion you have formed, that is your own bias towards that research. So it may not be universal. Somebody else will read that research paper. He may form a different opinion on the research. So this is not very scientific. You are doing this narrative research, but this is not very scientific. On the other end, there is a literature review which we call the statistical or quantitative research review, in which we read the research papers, then we do a meta-analysis or a statistical analysis of the data available in the research paper, which is scientific. So these are two extreme ends of literature review that you can find in the literature or in the public domain. Next, in between these two extreme ends, comes this systematic literature. So it has concepts from both these. Systematic literature review is explicit, it is reproducible, which means you write the systematic literature review on a particular area. On the same area, if somebody else will write, he will write also the same thing, or he or she will write also the same thing. 90% overlapping will be there, more than 90% overlapping will be there. And it is without any previous assumptions. No a priori assumption is involved in systematic literature review. So this is nowadays more acceptable as a literature review. If you are submitting a paper on literature review, more accepted literature review is systematic literature review instead of narrative because that is biased, instead of quantitative or statistical because it requires a good knowledge of statistics and statistical analysis. So, because these two are extreme ends and it is difficult to understand these quantitative or statistical literature reviews, the systematic literature review is more popular nowadays in different fields, particularly in management, in commerce, in those areas in humanities, and now it is in science. Actually, it started in medical science. Systematic literature review started in medical science, and it has penetrated into different domains. It is more scientific. Now, how to do this systematic literature review? What is systematic literature review? The definition is like this. Something goes like this. This is the definition. It is a scientific method. It limits the bias. It answers questions or a particular question or set of questions by collecting different studies. Next. Why you will do this? To reduce biases, to increase reliability, and potentially to improve communication of the findings that you have made. Now, when it started, the best paper for systematic review is by Popeye. So Popeye Group in 2009, sorry, 2006, they gave a guideline for doing a systematic review. So from narrative review, they said that let us move to the systematic review. Next. Now, what is the process, review process, whether it is systematic review or a narrative review, what is the process? First, do you define the research question? First, we define a research question. Then, uh, we develop a short strategy. Once you define a research question, then we have to find out the papers for to fit to those research questions. We have to find out research papers. To find out research papers, we have to sort the database. So you have to develop a short strategy. Then once you have developed a short strategy, then do the literature search. So you know this. These are the database from which we will get the research papers. We have got the research papers. Now you search the literature. Next. Then whatever literature you have searched, after searching, you screen the results. So screen out some of the papers that you have collected. Suppose you have collected 100 papers, screen out about 50 papers or 30 papers, whatever, whichever is acceptable to you, keep them. Otherwise, screen them out. Then organize the selected literature, what finally you have selected. Organize them. Then next. Then start reading them thoroughly. So read them thoroughly and review them, then annotate them. So connect them. Next. Then once you do this, connecting them, reading them properly, thoroughly reading, then you will identify what are the patterns of the research and what are the research gaps, which are the areas in which there has been no work. So you will find out the research gaps which people can work in future. Then based on that you synthesize the whatever you have read. Then you start writing. Once you complete writing, then you review it yourself in your group, ask other people's, your friends, peers to review it and revise it accordingly. Getting their comments, you revise it. To do it 2 3 times, then you submit the paper. The same process is applicable if you are writing your thesis. In the thesis, usually the first chapter or the second chapter is literature review. So in that also you can do this, follow this process. This we can put in the form of a cycle. So on using AI, yeah, so using AI, we can put it in the form of a cycle, which I call AI tech cycle. In the AI tech cycle, the first thing is develop a search strategy. So to develop a search strategy, you can use any of these ChatGPT 3.5 or 4. If you are a paid member, you use 4, or otherwise use 3.5, which is free. Then you can use Bing. Bing is based on GPT-4. So if you are not able to subscribe there to ChatGPT-4, use Bing. Bing uses GPT-4. Gemini, which is from Google, that also is equivalent to GPT-4. It is not on the it does not use exactly the GPT-4, it is equivalent to GPT-4. So first you develop a sort strategy. So let us look at how to develop the sort strategy. In this sort strategy, what you have to do is find out, identify the components and terms, key components and terms, which is keywords and key terms, then identify relevant database. These two things you have to do. So you are using any of those tools that I described, like ChatGPT or Bing, etc. There you have to give the proper prompt. The prompt should have the role and purpose of the prompt. So I am writing this. This I have supplied you. Uh, so use this. Next. Then in what context you are using the prompt? So use that context. Like here, I am a doctoral student or I am a professor. I am a doctoral student researcher who is conducting a study on, within the quote mark, you write the topic on or the area in which you are doing the study. Then instruction. I will provide the research question which is guiding my study. You will then provide guidance. You will means ChatGPT. You will then provide guidance and help me develop a comprehensive literature search strategy by identifying key concepts and terms, database relevant to my field of study, search strings and filters. So this is the instruction given to the ChatGPT. Next. Then what output should you expect from the ChatGPT? So there you can write, always structure your response using Markdown. So what you will be the markdowns? Identify key concepts and terms and consider synonyms, acronyms, and variations in spelling or terminology. Identify databases that are most relevant to my field. Suggest short strings, including Boolean operators and truncations. Suggest filters for me to use in various databases to refine my search. So give those as output. Now let us see whether this is working. I will give it, you can also use it. Let me use, no, let me use Bing. So let us use Bing. No, let us use Gemini, not Bing, Gemini. You can use Bing also. Let us use Gemini. So open Gemini, then put this prompt here. Prompt. ऊपर रुक जा. Now I'll write the topic. ठीक लगा कहीं कट लो. Study on. Here I no topic is study on package. Now the topic I will give conducting a study on design of RFID chipless RFID tag antenna. You can give your own topic. So do this. Give your own topic. I have given you a Word document. From the Word document. Uh, Copy this prompt, which is prompt one. Put it in Gemini and give the topic which is of your interest. If you do that, that will give you. Now look at what is the answer it is giving. No, no, uppercut. So you can see the keywords started with keywords, chipless RFID tags, antenna design, encoding technique, read range sensitivity. These are all keywords and their meanings, what they mean. Next, these are some synonyms related to this research. So these are synonyms. Then databases where you will search this because this is engineering, electronics engineering, so I typically explore. Then you can search Science Direct, Web of Science, Google Scholar, then search strings. When you go to this database, what are the search strings including booleans, chipless or chipless, and RFID or radio frequency identification and antenna and design. So these are some of the search strings that you can use. And filters that you will use is publication date that you can give from this year to this year. That is the publication date. If you want any particular author, you can include that author or exclude that author if you do not want it. And what the document type, whether you want peer-reviewed articles, whether you want conference proceedings, you want patents, so those things you will tick in your database, software database. That is what you can use. How to use this? So this gives you this gives you how to use the AI to identify key components and terms and identify relevant database. So you now know the database. So go to those database. In those database, you find out, give these key components and terms, and find out the papers. Next. Now, once you do that, then from that database, you find out a seed paper. First paper, which is called seed paper, you find out a seed paper. So go to that database. Let me give you the most common database that everybody can use, which is Google Scholar. So let us look at Google Scholar. And here I can give you a chipless RFID. Chipless RFID tag design. Okay, from this database, let us look at one of the papers which is available, first paper. Let us take the first paper. So based on that paper, I will do the searching. So this is the first paper. From the first paper, what I have to do is I am looking at its DOI or the paper name, title of the paper. These two are important. So I will look at these two. So this paper, the first paper that I have. So what you have to do is look at the list of papers. Out of that, pick one which is with which you are satisfied. I am taking, for example, the first paper. So the title of the paper or the DOI, these two I am going to use. Okay. Then come to the next part. Sorry, remember that. So then, and that is my seed paper. Now I have to do a seed mapping. So for seed mapping, what we have to do is next. So now we have to use of the AI search engine. So first, we have used this Google Scholar, in which you will get hundreds of papers. From that, take those papers, put to them in a PDF, in a Excel file. I'll show you the Excel file, how to generate the Excel file. Then do a AI search. So use AI to search this. What are these search engines? These are Elicit, Cite, and Consensus. Okay. So these are the databases which is applicable to everybody across all fields. Google Scholar, Semantic Scholar. Semantic Scholar is more recent and gives you recent references. Then Scopus gives you recent references. Open Athens and EBSCO, these are usually supported by UGC. So if you are in a university or central government institution or a state government institution, you have access to Open Athens or EBSCO. Next. So those are the databases. Now we are going to do the search using AI assistant. So first is using general database, collect as many papers as possible, then come for a AI assisted search. Next. So in this, you require the AI search engine. we'll see what are the key features of the search engine that I am proposing and what is the data cost from where it is getting the data. The first is elicit. Elicit or size space. These are two search engines. I am keeping here only two. Elicit, later I will tell you about size space. So first is elicit. Key features is from the elicit you can export a literature matrix. We'll see how to do that. Then we can extract data from the articles. Particularly in the literature matrix, you will be able to extract data from the articles. It gets it data from the semantics column. Next. Next is site. Site is a paid search engine. So I am not going to show it here, but it's if you are prepared to pay, it is about 450 rupees per month. So if you are doing one-time search, you can do use site. It has advantages like it gives you give a paper. Supporting papers it will mention these are the supporting papers of the theory proposed in this paper. Contrasting papers it will tell you and mention similar papers also it will mention. So it has its own data corpus. Next. Then consensus. Consensus is as good as it is good like site, but not exactly like site, but it is good as a site. It extracts evidence-based answers from the articles. So if you give one article, then you want to know whether it is possible to design a RFID tag using, suppose, liquid conductors. So it will give you yes and no. So yes is 10%, no is 90%, or yes is 80%. That type it will give you the answers, and it will give you 5 or 10 articles in support and against. Next. Then litmaps. In the litmaps, we'll see now. In the litmaps, you will do a literature mapping. So it creates an interactive literature map and it generates articles via a seed paper. So if you have the seed paper, from that you will generate articles. Next. So let us come to the next point in the cycle, which is locating the seed paper. Seed paper we have located using the Google Scholar. Now we'll go to litmaps. So let us come to litmaps. First we'll go to litmaps. Okay. So we have come to the litmaps. Now power has come. So I working safely. Now give the seed. So go to the seed. Okay. Now I can give the DOI or the title of the paper. So I am giving the title of the paper, then I'll give search. So it has searched, found out the paper, then you give the generate seed map. So this shows you the seed. This is the seed paper which was published in 2020. Then it gives you the map. So and now it is up to you. So from where up to which point? So this, if you look at the seed from where, look at 2009. I think the earliest paper was 2009. So that is more connected to. So that is the first paper. Then up to where? Next is 2022. 2022 is the last paper. So you can choose these two papers, or if you do not want 2009, suppose you are doing your research within 5 years. So 2020, 22 means 18 or 19 or 17. So go to 19. So 19 paper is this. So choose these two papers. The first paper is the 19 and the last paper is beginner. So choose these papers. Either you choose these two papers or you choose the 2009 paper. So depending on what is your range, you can choose two papers. Otherwise, if you do not have these two papers, you can choose at least one paper, which is the beginner, which is the latest paper. So either choose the latest paper or choose two papers between these two. before the latest paper and the previous paper. Now the latest paper can be a review paper, as in this case it is a review paper, or it can be a research paper. So BB is the research paper. So this is a research paper. Either of these two you choose, and choose which is suitable to you. So from the title you can find out whether that paper will be, you can work in that area. So first do that. Once you do that, then take any two papers. So take any two papers from this. No, it is up. Let it be there. Then open. No, no, no. Let it be there. Side there. Side there. Go to PPT. Then come to insightful. So once you have chosen the lit maps, you have chosen two papers or one paper, then you come to insightful. Insightful.xyz. Go to insightful. If you have not chosen two papers, if you have chosen one paper, then in the first column you give the DOI of the paper and a DOI or title of the paper. So give that. Now, here also you can get a map. Like as in case of the link maps, here also you can get a map. So from the map you can choose any two papers if you want. Otherwise, you continue with this paper. Go down. Now, what is the advantage of insightful that you can? I am going to show you. Best you to next. Now you can see what are similar papers to the paper that you have given in the insightful as one paper. So you can see similar papers. So in the similar papers, you can see how many citations, what is the similarity to the paper that you have done, and when it was published. These three and the paper name and details will be there. Go down to the bottom of this table. Okay. Here you can bottom of that table. Yes. Set lekha is save. So now you can go to save. Click on the save. Now you can save it as RIS. If you are using Mendeley, you can save it as Mendeley or Jotero or RIS. Any one of that you can save in that format. So all the papers will be saved there. Similar papers. Then it is uh, useful is you can find out in this area what are the most important published papers or what are the review papers. That list is also there. Those things you can also save. Otherwise, same. These things you can do. Next. Save it all. Then recent papers by top 100 authors in this field and the most important recent papers that also you can get from Insightful. Next. Okay, then other data it is important is you can find out who are the top authors. So number of papers published by the author, total page rank of the author. So that you can find out top authors in this field to whom you can follow. And who are recently publishing papers in this field, that also you can find out which are the upcoming field authors. Uh, I think that is enough. Top journals that you will know, institutions, those are not very important. And similar journals, top journals, similar journals, these are not very important for you. So using the insight with you get this data and collect those data. You can collect those data as I have shown you. You put it in your Zotero or Mendeley, or if you are using BibTeX, you put it in BibTeX. So anything like that. So put those data. You have already earlier you have got the data from databases. You add this data to those that to that database. Now how to organize that? That we'll see later. Next. So you have located a seed paper, then organize, review, and annotate. So the papers that you have collected, Then you have to organize, review, and annotate. For that, use lateral. Go to lateral. Next. Next column is lateral site reference. So go to this site, which will give you lateral. So okay. So here it says get organized, try for free. So click it. Okay. How you will organize that is shown there. So what we'll do is we are going to sign up here using the same thing. Uh, Using temporary mail, we are going to organize it, sign in into lateral. Assign. Okay, it takes a few minutes to for the mail to come. Uh, so let us skip this. I will come back to lateral later for organizing. Okay, now lateral has come. Okay, now what you can do is go to the dashboard, start a new project. Uh, okay, literature review. So give it a name. I am giving it literature review. Then upload a paper. So the paper that I have downloaded, I can upload a PDF paper here. Upload any PDF paper. Done. Okay, so now you can take notes from that paper. Click on that paper. The paper will come. So you can see the paper, the paper that you have uploaded. Then you take notes on that paper. Click on notes. So read the paper and write notes here. So the notes will be mentioned here. Then plus, give plus, type something. So the points, like I am writing the algorithm, so that point is coming. So, uh, click कर देखो table click कर दो. So that comes here. So this portion will be uh, accept, accept, save, save, save. ऊपर save लिखा है ऊपर सही थे सही बॉक्स रे ऊपर save लिखा है डांसर. So come to document view. In the document view, select whatever you are trying, which is important. So I have written the algorithm. You can write whatever it is. So give those titles. Keep on writing, adding those things, or taking notes. So that is what you can do. So this is how you will organize your paper. Each research paper, do a organization, take notes on each research paper, and keep them in at one place, which is lateral.io. So instead of writing them on paper, you can keep them at one place only. Next. So once you have done that, then you take those results and analyze this. For analyzing, you will use elicit and design a literature matrix. So in the analysis, what you do is usually we identify the research patterns and identify the research gap. We'll see how to do that. For that, upload the PDF in the elicit or SciSpace. So take a paper or take 4 or 5 papers. I have given an instruction or a request that keep ready 4 or 5 papers with you. So if you have those papers, we will do this. So upload PDF, go to elicit or SciSpace. So these are the websites for elicit or SciSpace. Go to elicit.com or typeset.io. Either of these two, whichever is suitable to you. With SciSpace, there is a limitation. You can have 10 parameters or 10 points on which you can question. Elicit, you can in the matrix you can have n number of columns. Size space you will have up to 10 columns. We'll see elicit size space you can try. That's it. That's it. Then generate a customized literature matrix. So go to elicit. First you go to elicit. Okay. In the elicit it writes finds papers, extract data from PDF. So you can give PDFs in input PDFs, upload PDFs here. Click on the upload. Click in the paper, insert a paper. So for example, I am giving 3 papers, uploading these 3 papers. On the papers that you have selected, you will upload. The papers that you have selected for literature review, you upload those papers. The next, select all, then go to next. I will suggest that you select 5 papers or upload 5 papers at a time. So now you can see these 3 papers are there. Uh, So 3 articles I have uploaded. Then what we'll do is generate the matrix. For the matrix, first is summary. So each paper summary will be there. Then main findings. What are the main findings of each paper? That will be there. Then methodology. What are the methodologies I used in those papers? So if there are methodologies, it will give you the methodology. Then what are the limitations of these papers? And now you can see there are no limitations are mentioned in these 2 papers. Last one, there are some mentions, limitations are given. Then I am selecting it from the right hand side. If you do not want to select it, like you don't have drawbacks of the paper, so let me write
So
drawbacks
once again, the limitations are as expressed by the authors.
by
The
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 author.
tool
Yes.
the tool is not trying to find out the limitations, right?
No, no. Tool is not trying to find out the
As
limitation.
as written by the authors in their papers, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I will show you how to find out the limitations not expressed by the author. That I am going to show you later. And just after this, then the drawbacks of the paper. This is from the paper. It is extracting the data from the paper. If you are reading the paper, this is extracting the data from the paper. So I have drawn a matrix. Now paper name, then these limitations, main findings, etc. This is a matrix. Copy this matrix. Little copy. So now what you will do is copy this matrix completely, copy, select copy this, then paste it in a Word format or uh, other format. Put paste. Okay. Next, last. Okay, এটা paper format select copy. आज टेबल टेबल पे देखिए क्या कॉल टेबल फॉर्मेट ଥିବ go to format table table design format any format anyone first time right so this is generated this table is generated I will use this table later but remember that we have generated this table do this for all papers all the papers that you are reviewing do this for all papers. Now, suppose, like Professor Patra asked, what to do or how to find out the limitations if it is not mentioned in the paper. So, what you will do is go to Bing. So, go to Bing. uh, Go to Edge. Bing. Go to Edge. In the Edge, there is Bing. Microsoft Edge. Open Microsoft Edge. There is Copilot. So, open the Copilot. Copilot will be on the top left side. Copilot. Okay, that is Copilot. So open the Copilot. Copilot will be on the top right corner of the Edge page. There will be on the Copilot. Now in this, open your PDF file. Right click, open in. Open with Microsoft Edge. So select the PDF file. Open with Microsoft Edge, and I have opened the Copilot. Now in the Copilot, there is written "Ask me anything." So there you write what are the limitations of this paper. Enter. So here you will find out the limitations. Whether it is available in the paper, in this paper I remember. This is our paper, we have not mentioned any limitation. But going to this, opening it in the Edge and using the Copilot, you can find out what are the limitations of this paper. So these limitations you can put in that matrix. These are the limitations. So prepare the matrix. Am I clear with this? So limitations you can find out what are the key findings that you can also here you can write what are the key findings that it will give you, what is the methodology that it will give you, what are the future research possibility that also it will give you. What are mysteries, future research possibilities? It gives you future research possibilities. This also you can use. So you start with a paper, open it with but it has to be a PDF paper, open it in the Edge, then go to the Copilot, ask it to give you research possibilities. It gives me 10 research possibilities based on this paper. From this paper, you can use find out 10 research topics. So that also we can do. Okay. Next. So once you have customized the literature matrix, once you have generated literature matrix, next. So now we have customized the literature matrix generated and customized it. Next, finally, how to do that? So what you will do is, I have put it in the Word, but you can put it in Excel. It is better always put it in Excel. In the Excel, what you will put is they go to the first one. So first is authors, then title, then year in which year it is possible published, then source. Source means the journal. Then volume number, issue, then page, then cited by means how many times the paper has been cited. Then DOI, then the link to the paper. Affiliations is usually used by people in management or other areas, humanities, to find out in which country the study has been conducted, or if in India, which state the study has been conducted, what is the location. So that they can find out from the affiliation, and then go to the abstracts, then keywords, then what is the type of paper, whether it is a quantitative paper or a qualitative paper, then what is the context, in which context the paper is written. These are mostly, these blue portions are uh, for everybody, where it is written in black. Then context, focus, what is the focus of the study, what is the theory that is used, if it any, what is the methodology that is used, what are the limitations that we have seen, then what are the dependent variables and what are the independent variables. Then these red are for humanities and commerce or management, those people. Then what is the sample size they use, what is the setting in which it is done, what is the segment of our society where this is conducted, then what is the population which is involved, what type of population it is done, um, then what are the product, and what are experimental setup, what is environmental setup. So these things will be in your matrix. Out of these, whatever is necessary for you, you have to choose that. Choose those things, whether it is a science research or a humanity research or a management research, depending on your requirement, you choose the fields for your research. But usually the portion that I have highlighted in the yellow part, that is common for everybody. Other parts are, you can choose. Now, once you have done this, generated the customized matrix, then we have to find out the research pattern and gaps. So now let me do that research pattern or gap. So I will try to find out to analyze the matrix next. So to analyze the matrix, first prepare the matrix, then give a prompt. Prompt is, first you tell what is the role and purpose of the AI tool. Next, what is the context? Give the instructions. Also in the instruction, don't forget to mention that it has to find out research trend, research pattern, key points in the research field, research gaps in the field, research methods or methodology limitations, uh, in text citations, so it should give you citations, then references to the citations. These are, now I'll copy this and give it in the chat. I am using chat GPT. In the chat GPT, I'll give this, fill up the gaps, conducting a study on RFID. But is it in RFID? No. It's a table. Look at the table. Is the table on RFID or yes, RFID, RFID. RFID tag design. For my literature review on RFID tags. Okay. Now at the end, I will put the literature matrix, literature matrix. So that I will put at the end. Table copy that and put that matrix at the end. And now you can see it gives you everything. Next, regenerate copy. You can regenerate it if you are not satisfied with. You can regenerate it. It will give you. Once you regenerate it, it is giving better result. So you can use this. So what we have done is we have found out what is the research trends and patterns, what are key points in research, and what are the research gaps, what are the research methodology and methods used, limitations of research studies. So this we have done for two papers or three papers. You can do it for n number of papers that you are doing. So divide it into chunks of five papers and finally you add them together. So, next. So now once we have done this, then we'll come to writing the paper. So we are ready with a review and we are ready with data. We have got extracted data from the papers. Now we are ready to write the paper. So in the paper, usually we follow the format of IMRAD: introduction, methodology or methods, results, and discussion. So that format it is given here. This is called a Prisma checklist. I'll tell you what is Prisma checklist. This is used for systematic literature review. If you are using systematic literature review, this is the checklist that you will use. Next. Um, so you will start with introduction. Next. So introduction, write the background in about 1000 words. The background should contain existing knowledge on the problem and limitations of the existing knowledge in the problem. This should form your background of the introduction. What you understand by this? This is basically overview and of the chipless RFID, because we are using the chipless RFID as example in this workshop. So this is the chipless RFID technology, its principle, advantages, potential applications. So this is the description of the introduction. Example of a portion from the introduction is given. Chipless RFID is an emerging technology. So this way you give an example, write your introduction. Then in the introduction, next is after the background, give the research question. It should be about 100 words, below 100 words. So here you will make a clear statement of the primary question that your review is going to address. So this is an example. Then give the scope and limitations of the review that you are going to conduct. Here what you will do is define the boundaries of your search and acknowledge what are the potential limitations of your review. For example, here this review will focus on research articles published in English. So English is boundary, language boundary between 2015 to 2023. That is the year or the time boundary. Then it will include studies on specific applications of chipless RFID, such as, but it will exclude supply chain management, healthcare, etc. Next. For that, as I told you, we are following Prisma framework. What is Prisma framework? Prisma stands for Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis. This was proposed in 2015. First, it was proposed in 2015 by Moher. Then it was modified by Liberate in 2020. Sorry, 2009. It was proposed in 2009. Next. So in the framework, what you have? First, identification of keywords, search criteria or database, and extracted records. This we have already seen. Next. Then the screening. Screening we will see now, which includes what are the inclusion or exclusion criteria. Means which literature you are going to include, which literature you are going to exclude. Which means why you are including this. Suppose The research started or the work started in 1990s, but you are considering only from 2015 onwards. So you are excluding 1990 to 2014. So you will explain why these are you are excluding that 2015 to 2023. You are considering why you are including that, how you are, whether you are considering only research papers of journal papers or conference papers that you will do during the screening. Next. Then you will find out the eligibility of the paper depending on the quality of the paper. So quality assessment, you do the quality assessment of the paper, then you exclude or include it. We'll see one example next. Finally, after the deciding the eligibility, you decide on which paper is to be included. Next. So now you based on this you come to the method part. In the method part you explain those. So in the method part, what you will do is you will mention the sort strategy. What was your sort strategy? In the sort strategy, you will describe what are the databases that you use, what are the keywords you use to search, what are your limits, what are if any additional sort method is adopted that you will mention there. Next. So here you can see the search included journal articles, review papers, research reports published in English. So if you do not want review papers, exclude that. The search included journal articles, research reports. If you do not want research reports, and exclude that. So this way you can write. And what are the databases? IEEE Explore, Science Direct, MDPI, Google Scholar, etc. So these are to be mentioned exclusively. You cannot implicitly, this should not imply anything. Exclusive mention is required. Then what is the screening criteria that you use? So you explain what are the inclusion and exclusion criteria for your study. Next. So the screening criteria, one example is screening criteria were based on Prisma statement. So when you say Prisma statement, the search one reason is one area is search span was from 2018 to 2030, 2023. Then what is the selection process? So outline the screening and selection process, including any disagreement and resolutions that you have. Disagreement resolution means you wrote the paper, then you gave it to review to your colleagues or your review peers, and they have given you suggestions to which you have agreed, you have disagreed. So you can say two reviewers independently screened this. So maybe two, maybe three. How many reviewers screened it? Are followed by full text review. Disagree. How you resolve the disagreement, and what is the total number of articles you excluded after your discussion, and how many records you extracted. So that you mention in this page. Next. Next. Then data extraction and synthesis. This is the next part in the methodology. So you have to describe the methods used to extract and analyze data. Next. So finally, you will mention that how many articles were selected and what were the characteristics of those articles. Finally, you will do a quality assessment of the records that you have extracted. Next. So here you explain the tool or framework which is used to assess the methodological quality. Next. So here you will see we selected 35 articles after examining each article according to inclusion and exclusion criteria that was mentioned earlier. Figure 1 shows the inclusion or figure number whatever you give. So that shows the inclusion and exclusion at every stage according to the Prisma statement. Now what is this figure 1? Next. So this is a must. If you are using a systematic literature review, this figure is a must. This is given in the Prisma. So this figure you have to use as a must. I will give you one example of this figure for a paper from which it will be clear what is this done. So this includes what are the inclusion criteria, what is the screening criteria, and what is the identification criteria. It actually starts with identification, identify the papers, then screen the papers, then include the papers. So this is given here. Uh, Let me give you an example that will be more clear. Next. So this is the example. Identification in records identified through database searching. So you got search the database from that. How many records you identified, which means how many papers you identified by searching the database. So here n is the number of records. So 3,453 records were identified in initial search. Then additional records identified through other sources. Here you can mention additional records identified through uh, AI, AI tools. The other two sources can be AI tools. Suppose here number is here it is mentioned 21, you can mention is 100 or how many numbers. So then total, what is the total number of records? After this total number of records, you search for what are the duplicate records. So remove them. So after the removal of duplicate records, what is remaining? So records after duplicate removed, then you will screen the records. So screen the records will be how many you have excluded after screening. Like date, you have screened, language, you have screened in those things. So how many records you have excluded. Then next exclusion principle is full test articles access for eligibility. Suppose that is 90. How you get 90? Because you have excluded these papers because of these reasons. No access to full article, so this many. Correlational studies, this many. No manipulation or meritocracy. These are no measure of attitudes. These literature reviews, your systematic literature reviews. So whatever is the your criteria mentioned according to this criteria, if it fits this criteria, I am excluding this. Sorry, mention that clearly there. Then studies included in qualitative assessment. How many you have found out? 24. So what is excluded? Full articles excluded. Give the reasons why you have excluded that. Finally, number of studies included in the data extraction that is given. Now, how to generate this table? You can generate this table yourself. You can prepare this table using Word or using PowerPoint. You can do this, but you can also use a tool. AI tool is available for this. You use that AI tool. A paper was published. This is the reference to the paper published in 2022 to generate this table. So go to this tool. I'll show you the tool, how to go to this tool and what to do. Reload. তাহলে লেখা আছে reload. Okay. So come to this site or this link. Here go to create flow diagram. So go to create flow diagram, then you can put the numbers here, previous studies, other search for studies. So into previous studies means from the database. Other searches for studies means these AI tools that you have used. So everything is given here, just fill up the numbers here. Then it will generate the table as you can see on the right hand side. It will generate the table, copy that table, paste it in your paper. So that much is to be done. Next. Then you explain this paper. This table is to be explained. So in the methods, you explain this table. Next. So come to the result, then you come to the results. There you will do a descriptive analysis, which means how the records are distributed over years, what are the most cited records, what are the journals, etc. This you will do from the uh, um, matrix that you have generated in the Excel format that I'll show you. So generate graphs, plots using spreadsheet and analyze it. Just let me show you one example. Go to the Excel file. So this is the Excel file in which we have all the data about the paper. First, so authors ID. This is generated from Scopus. So get all these things. Um, so put in this format. Everything you put in this format. Now once you have got here, you have generated this matrix. Then go to insert pivot chart. Go to pivot chart and in a new worksheet. Open it in a new worksheet. So go to the new worksheet. Okay. Then, and let us see how many citations are done or year. Last, year, two things we'll see. Year, bring that year, then bring that down to axis category. Okay, now here you can see sum of year. So you don't require sum of year, you require year. So double click that, count. Instead of sum, go to count and go to OK. So this shows, so once you go there, it shows in which year how many papers were published. So that you can see here. Similarly, next, we have other citations. Look at citations. Cited by. Okay, here. Sum of here, count. Okay. And this shows which paper is cited by how many people. So this shows this 1, 5, 9. These are the paper numbers, first paper, fifth paper, etc. So this is one number of citations of those papers. So this is how you will generate the pivot charts and use those pivot charts in your paper and explain those pivot charts. Next. So in the example, uh, next. So do a descriptive analysis of that. Then do a study characteristics. In the result, mention the study characteristics. That is summary of all the included studies, which will include the tag design in this case, encoding techniques, etc. And so the summarize that, then synthesize the findings. What is the synthesis of the finding? There you organize and present what are the key findings and categorize them by themes or research questions. That is done here in the synthesis. Then go to the discussion. In the discussion, you will do interpretation of the findings. So give explanation of the results in the context of existing literature and for the identification of gaps or inconsistencies in the literature. Next. So where further research is required, that you will say. Then find out what are the strengths and limitations of the review that you have performed. So discussion of the strengths and limitations. Finally, implications of research and practices. And so here you will, whatever study you have done, what are its highlight the implications for future research and practice applications. So do it in two sections, research and practice. Next. Then come to the conclusion of your review paper. So go then. So in the conclusion, you will give a brief summary of your main findings and answer the research questions briefly. Then give a future research directions. There you suggest the future research direction based on the gaps that you have identified during the review process. And so this is over. Now what is left is the abstract. So you have to write the abstract. Once you complete the writing, people first write the abstract. Don't do that. That is a mistake. So first write the paper. After you have written the paper, take all the data, then write your abstract. For writing the abstract, you can take help of the AI tool. Again, you give the role and purpose, then the context, then the instructions. So instructions are this. So this is how you will write an abstract. So now we don't have time, so I am not going to show this. You can do it easily. Finally, in the output, remember to mention this. Never write for me and only provide suggestions. This is why suggestions with examples. This is ethical. So it will not give you the answer. It will tell you how to go to the answer. Then you go to the answer. In the abstract, remember there are three parts. The why part, which is why the study is taken up, and there you will describe the originality and significance of your work. Then the what part, it is what is the study about. There you will describe the relevance of the work. Then the how aspect, which is the and where you will describe the technical merit and use of whatever theory you are using, or the methodology you are using, or the process you are using, etc. Then finally, again the why aspect, which is where you will describe the importance of the results, originality, and the significance of your work. So this will form your abstract. Always, whether it is a research paper or whether it is a review paper, abstract will always contain this. And once you have done design the abstract, you have the keywords, then you form your title. Title should usually consist of different keywords. From the titles, you should be able to extract the keywords. So this is what you will do. So once this part is over, abstract is over, title is over, everything is over, then you go to reverse outlining assessment. So let me so give you what is this. So you check whether your whatever you have written is correct or not. So look at the outline and go to reverse outline. Check whether that is there. So I have prepared something. Go to new. Based on what I discussed up to now, I have prepared a short Word document. I will upload that document. So whatever you have done there you upload that document, and it will tell you what are the points in the introduction. These points are their main idea. Whether those ideas, what you decided, are there or not. Now you can see point 3 in the introduction, point 3. It gives a suggestion. Combine point 2 and point 3 to streamline the introduction. So I have written it in point 1, point 2, point 3, not in that manner. I have written it in 3 paragraphs or 2 paragraphs. It is suggesting that through the reverse outlining, it is suggesting that point 2 and point 3, these are to be combined for streamlining the introduction. Um, so if there is any question in it, if it gives you don't gives you any red mark, which means you can rest assured that your writing is correct. Otherwise, it gives you a suggestion. Follow that suggestion to improve your writing. So you can see there are few suggestions here. You can use those suggestions. Always you use those suggestions. Okay. So finally, we have completed how to write or do a systematic literature review. Next. So then ask for feedback and revision. Next. Next. So in the revision, there are two levels, macro level and micro level. In the micro level, next, you look at the purpose of your paper and the audience of your paper, who is going to read your paper, that you see, and revise it according to if it is meeting that. Then whether it is properly structured and organized or not. Then on whether your arguments and supporting arguments are there or not in your paper. Then whether you have integrated the research, or the research is mentioned in an integrated manner or not. So this is what is the macro level details. Then you look at the micro level details. This is simple. Look at the grammar and syntax. So use Grammarly or any other tool, or take help of somebody who is proficient in English language to check your grammar and syntax, punctuations and spellings, etc. are correct or not. Then the choice of word is correct or not, that you choose. Then the formatting and style, whether they are meeting the style or formatting of the journal or not. And then what is the what mechanics you use in writing. So that those are the micro level details that you should see. Whether these are not there or not, if you don't, you are not able to do this, then you can take help of AI. So you request a feedback, give your role, purpose, context, then instructions. So in the instructions synthesis, you give write this. Does each paragraph begin with a clear focused topic sentence? Does each paragraph include more than one source in paragraph? Does the writer discuss most relevant findings? Does the writer discuss similarities or differences between sources? Each paragraph organized around a single idea. Is there a logical transition from this paragraph to the next one? Why? Usually, what we do is when we do a literature survey, we read a paper, write its summary, and write its abstract, whatever it is. So that will do it in 2 3 sentences. So that will give a reference. Then the next reference is for the next paper. Next reference is for the next paper. There is no link between the papers that we have done. We have studied or we are reviewing. So avoid that. Whether it has been avoided, whether there is a link or not, that is to be done during the feedback stage. So that you have to. So this also you can give as a prompt to the AI tool, whether it is Bing or whether it is ChatGPT, etc. Here also in the output mention, never write for me, only provide suggestions for improvement. It will provide you suggestions for improvement. Next. Now come to the ethical part. When you are using ChatGPT or anything else, you have to mention that we have used ChatGPT or Bing or whatever you are using. So that you put in the reference. This is one example in the APA they have mentioned it. So you go to this in the APA blog. It is mentioned from that I have taken it. Go to that APA blog. So how to cite ChatGPT or anything else? If it is given ChatGPT, you can use for Bing or anything else. So it gives you an example. So when you are using ChatGPT, etc., don't forget to refer them. Give it a reference if you have used. But if you have taken its help, if you have not used it, but taken help of it, then in the acknowledgement mention that I have taken help of this and this. So then it is more ethical. It is not unethical, then it is more ethical. Next. Now, always test what you are writing or what you are writing, whether it is ethical or not ethical. You always test. What I do usually is when I write a paper, if I am taking help of the AI tools and I think that I am influenced by the AI tool, I will go to the testing of AI content using two sites. So one is Sapling, other is ChatGPT Zero. Let me put a paragraph, small short paragraph in both these two, which are generated by AI. So let me generate. Okay, this is the this has generated generate something, write something. So I am generating directly. I am taking it to put it in a paper. So I am trying to test it whether it is AI generated or not. So when I will put it, I send it in the journal, they will test it. And you can see it says 98% probability that it is generated by AI. So you will be squarely caught and that you have generated it. Next, other one, sapling. As a practice, I test it in both uh, GPT-0 and AI. So it comes to this. So always people will check it, whether you are, and you think that they cannot find it out, but people will always find out that you have used ChatGPT or anything else. So be aware of this and do always make it a practice to check it and correct it. So once it is found out, read it thoroughly, understand it, and rewrite in your own language instead of copy pasting from ChatGPT. Next. Then, when you are submitting the paper, if you have prepared a paper, when you are submitting the paper, Or if you have prepared the chapter of your thesis, then when you are submitting the thesis in the declaration part, mention this. And these 6 points you should not forget to mention. Of course, you can make changes according to your thesis, according to your field, but mention this. In the development of this article, we employed AI tools for article drafting. So instead of article, you can mention chapter for chapter drafting. So this way, you have to write it. And large language models like Bing, Gemini, ChatGPT. If you are using only ChatGPT, right? Like large language model, ChatGPT. Or if you are using all three, you mention all three. Whatever you are using, that you mention exactly. So, and finally, you write no conflict of interest were present in the use of AI models for this article. So, with that, we come to the end of this discussion. I plan to have such workshop, but now it will be short workshops, maybe 15-20 minutes on tools, only tools. So this was a combination of seminar and workshop, but workshop only on tools. There will be further workshop later. Those who are interested can attend that. I will intimate you because those who have registered, I have the emails. I will intimate them. Thank you for your patience. If there is any question, we can have a question answer session for maybe 10 minutes now.
सर नमस्कार सर.
Ah, Sudhakar.
नमस्कार, मैं सुधाकर बोलू सर.
Sudhakar.
Sir, I found sir a lot of information sir that you have shared, and that most important is how to implement meticulously in writing and paper and article also. So most important implementing.
Nowadays, implementing students are using this, and this will be available on my YouTube channel. So
Sir,
they can use this. Definitely, they
sir,
can see this once more.
sir,
And if required, they can contact me.
sir, sir. I see found sir how much patience sir, that you have continuously from the 2:30 till now without any break
Ah,
delivered the like everything in detail also sir. Totally AI model sir, which will be fruitful to our researcher actually. And
yeah.
I think sir, I will make plans sir. I found that actually those who are very close to you have attended. Better to I will give the time also to present in our institute or for the faculty and the student also.
Okay. Okay, I will do that.
Sir, sir,
If
sir.
I find time, I will do that.
Oh, sir,
Sure.
sure, sure. Definitely.
Okay.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Where?
Sir, I have one concern about to abstract. Sir, you
Hmm.
have explained very nicely. In
Hmm.
abstract, actually, IEEE, there are different magazines or journals. They are having different format.
Right.
Like micro magazine, antenna propagation magazine, they don't need abstract. Rather,
Hmm.
they need a simple write-up related to abstract. Abstract word will not be there. Number two, in IEEE Sensor Journal, they need abstract with graphical abstract, with a
Hmm.
graph or plot.
Hmm.
That is there. So
Not
we
only,
need to be a bit
not only
careful for
sensor,
that.
not only
So that is
sensor.
there.
If you submit in nature, if you
Yes, sir.
submit in science, so everywhere they require these pictorial abstracts. So you have to
Yes,
put
sir.
a picture in the form of picture. You have to describe your work. So that is a different. You have to mention your abstract, do your abstract, and mention the give the picture. So that is becoming standard everywhere. It will come. If
Yes,
not
sir. Yes, sir.
today, in 10 years it will come. That is one point.
Yes, sir.
Second is
That is
when you
graphical
consider
abstract, actually.
graphical aspect. And
Yes, sir.
second is when you consider magazine, the articles, unless it is a research article in AP magazine, there is a portion for research articles. Then there are
Exactly.
other articles. In the
Review
research articles,
articles
you
also.
have to in the research articles you have to put the abstract. If it is not a research article, which is there, you don't require the abstract. Why? Because magazines are like uh, story. In the magazine, the articles are like story. Stories don't have abstract. So
Exactly,
when you
sir.
write it, it is like a story. So therefore, you don't require abstract in the magazine articles mostly.
Correct, sir. Sir, one more point is there.
Hmm.
Normally in review articles, so we need to put several tables, comparison tables in different sections.
Hmm. Hmm.
Of course, you have already explained about it. So that we have to take care of. Suppose
That I
at
think
the end,
in the result
yes, sir,
section,
result,
in
one
the
they're
result section, you
asking
have
for
to
one
put.
comparison table,
Hmm.
whatever contributory examples we have taken from other sources.
That I can
That
do. Na. I told you you have
yes,
to
sir, yes,
prepare
sir,
a literature matrix.
yes, sir.
From the literature matrix, you will get those tables. Explain those
Mm.
tables. That is what you have to do.
Yes,
Generate a
sir. That is
literature.
yes, sir.
First, you generate a literature matrix considering all the papers that you are using, all the important papers that you are using. Then use a table. Matrix is always in the form of a table. So use that in the form of a table. Right?
Mm. So apart from that, also we are adding short tables in different sections. Suppose we are starting with say material characterization or material section or some different sections related to particular. Say you have taken the example of tag. So comparison of different tags or based on their manufacturing techniques. That is also we are doing. So that
That
also
you have
same
to
principle we will follow. There
yes, you have
also
to
will.
follow the same.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର ସମ୍ରାଟ କହୁଥିଲି।
हाँ सम्राट कुह
ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା ସାର୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖି ବହୁତ ଦିନ ପରେ। It was very really very nice and comprehensively you put it, sir.
हाँ
It must have taken a lot of time for you. I
हाँ
appreciate this.
ध्रुवर
Couple of
इंटरव्यू तो आज
questions
जान
and concerns, sir.
पहले ध्रुवर लास्ट
Must be one
इंटरव्यू
year.
तो no, at least 6 months. At
No, no.
least 6 months. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm sure by with this review process will be too fast now. It should be,
Hmm.
right?
Yes. Writing process will be faster and review also will be faster. Both.
Yeah. But sir, don't you think the thinking ability of researcher will go down with this?
Yes.
The comprehensive skill will go down with this,
Yes.
and we'll
That is
end up with dementia.
that is the ethical issue. That is ethics. You have to
The,
think.
the creativity of the student will not, grow
He
if
is
they
not
get,
growing. Now,
if
if
they,
you look at any
hmm,
report from the student, it is generated by ChatGPT. That
you
is why I
getting the
thought.
facilities easily is good and
Hmm.
comprising and making, but making a review and giving the abstract out of it and then making a, pointing out the what are the good points, bad points. If the
Hmm.
student do it carefully, so he or she will learn the process. But if the AI will did all the things, then the creativity of the students will not, seen or will not increase. That is your
Right.
opinion.
That,
I
that,
think I'll just add few lines to that, and then probably you can respond. I know Mr. must be getting ready with the answer. Now, all old timers like us, those who have really gone through a very rigorous process of reading papers and writing the reviews and all. Now, I have an ethical issue and it's a concern. Now, as you have demonstrated, say within 1 hour, within 2 hours, let's say, with a little bit of practice, somebody can review tens of papers and develop a review paper without actually understanding the content. As Sinan sir has rightly said, forget about the creativity. The student has not read the paper. What he's doing is loading the paper in different tools and in a very systematic way, he's proceeding and finally gets his review paper done
Mechanically doing
mechanically.
only.
So without the student has not really understood the paper. He has only followed a process to get that. It's fine because this is the trend because students these days they do not really want to go through the rigorous process and like to have some output as quickly as possible. That is fine. But what about the ethical issue? The student has written a review paper following this process, but he has not actually understood. He has not actually gone through the papers. No, I mean,
Yes.
there is nothing wrong in this. I mean, there is
No, no,
something
no.
that comes in the back of our mind whether you are moving the right direction, because people
Yes.
have already started talking about the
Yes.
ethical use of AI. That's why
Uh,
slowly I'm moving away from AI actually.
Yeah.
okay. Let me answer that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I started in the beginning, I started saying that what AI is generating, don't believe it. That is the first thing
That's
that
the careful statement you made in the beginning.
that
Perfect.
in the
Yes.
beginning, that is why I made that statement.
Yeah.
Why I made that statement that when you use AI, like I said, that use that to generate the literature matrix, it is 90% possible that it will leave out the important parts
Mm,
from the research paper. It will give you some points, but it will leave out the researcher important parts. So that is why I said in the organize, I said that you take the paper, organize it in a manner that you read the paper, understand where, what is the point, note that point. From those points, fill up your research matrix. The research matrix that the AI is giving you is the starting point, the stepping stone.
mm,
Then you fill it up after reading the paper. You are earlier you were reading hundreds of papers.
mm.
Now you have using AI, you have
You
come
narrow
down
down.
to 30,
You narrow
30
down to, yes, you narrow down to few. Yeah. So the essentially what
30
you're trying to
papers.
say is the tool can be used as an assistant, but
Assistant. Yes.
not as a
Yes.
replacement of the research scholar's mind.
No, no.
Certainly not.
It is an assistant. Everywhere I have said assistant. In the titles, everywhere I have said AI assistant. We are taking it to assistant. We are not using to generate it. Nothing. You should not generate anything. Take it as it and do it. Use your own mind. Now, instead of 100 papers, if you are said you read 30 papers thoroughly, understand that what is being done, and do this, then there should not be any problem. People will understand. Research scholars also will be equipped with knowledge.
Mm,
Yeah, actually, sir, in India there are many places where there are not so good supervisors are available. Probably this will be a good starting point for at that place. I will say, but it has to be used as it's a double sword kind of thing. It has to be used very carefully.
Hmm.
Otherwise, very repercussion will be very tough to handle at the
Oh,
later
hmm.
stage.
So now they are devising tactics and principles, rules, etc. to say that use of AI is unethical unless it is done according to this. Which means
Correct.
you have to use your mind. In India, it has not started. People are thinking it.
Mm.
Worldwide it has started. In India, it has not started. When I say that, I mean UGC has not started it yet, although they have said plagiarism. If you submit a paper for plagiarism checking to Turnitin, in the
Hmm.
Turnitin, it will give you what is the percent of AI generated text.
Oh,
Even
right.
if you put it in the drill bit, that will give you what is the percentage of AI generated text. Drill bit is by use increment. So they are saying that this much percentage of AI generated text is there. So people are thinking in that line, but they have not come out with concrete rules. So the rules are going to come out. Like
Hmm.
plagiarism is not ethical, AI is not ethical. Rules are going to come out. So you should be ready. People should be ready with that. That the rules are coming, and we have to use it as an assistant, not a
Otherwise, as an
replacement.
assistant, it is a fantastic tool. Actually,
Yes, it is a fantastic tool as an
it is
assistant.
a fantastic tool.
Ajay, Mr. Sir, just a quick question. Now, is it advisable that you write a text and then ask the tool to rephrase it? So you be
Yes.
on the safe side, or you do the reverse way.
No,
You
no, no,
ask the tool to generate the text and
no,
then
no, no.
you make some changes.
No, no.
Which can
That
be which? What
the
is
first
where is
one.
the possibility of high?
You write.
Hmm.
You write the text. You write the text. Ask the take the help of AI after that. Not
No,
the AI
okay.
write the text. You
Uh,
revise it. It's not personal.
so yes, ethically we'll do that. But finally, the text which is written by AI after rephrasing it, now it is subjected to the turn-in or whatever plagiarism test. Now, obviously, that text will be indicated as a plagiarized text because the final output is
No.
fed to the system.
Yes, the AI should not write for you. AI will point out you where there are mistakes and how you can rectify those mistakes. You have to rectify those mistakes. You write the text, ask the AI to find out where are the mistakes, then you rectify those mistakes. That is the correct approach.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
The three levels.
Okay, Bishababu, thank you so much for all the efforts that
Is
you have put in. It was really eye opener. For us, it is fine, but again, a very sarcastic remark. Students should not be told about this tool in the beginning of the research career. After struggling for 1 year, they can be told about these tools. Because right in the beginning, they will not read the papers because that's the first thing that we do. We ask them to read as many papers as possible in the area. Now they
right.
won't do that.
They,
No, it's just a
it is
joke.
actually the responsibility of the supervisor.
Yes.
Use
Yes.
of any tools, whatever you are doing, the students is doing, is the responsibility of the supervisor.
Mm,
Supervisor gradually introduces tools, etc. to the student.
mm.
But if the supervisor is weak, supervisor has no control on the
Mm.
Yes.
field, then the students will do these things.
Yes.
That I am
Yes.
I think the best practice, as you know, as we have been doing, we ask the student to read 5 papers and give a presentation,
presentation. Yes,
right? So that's the. So
that is the standard.
teachers are always smarter than even that AI tools. We know how to handle.
How to handle that? Yes.
Yes.
But sir, one more thing I can foresee that in future there will be more demand in learning how to talk with a machine than how to talk with a supervisor. because because you
Another-
have to put the questions in the right way in the prompt, right?
no,
Those are
that
the skills that will be more demanding in future actually.
yeah, that is why the prompt engineering, a
Stop.
new branch has come up now. The
Come
prompt
on. Yes.
engineers
Yes.
now there are training courses for to become a prompt
Prompt,
engineer.
prompt
Correct.
engineering is a very upcoming field also.
So you are
People are
told how
earning
to
like
ask questions. Yeah.
I have given you for few examples, three, four examples I have
You
given.
gave that, yes. Don't ask the same question in one go. Break it
Yes.
and ask in different levels. Yes.
Right.
But
I
And
think
yeah,
that was
these,
it's
that
very
was genuine.
powerful tool. Very powerful tool.
yes, these
Sir,
will make teachers and the supervisors will be extinct creatures in future.
sir, I will tell you my one story, small story. Real what I did. 3 days back only I was doing this ChatGPT using. I was asked my vice chancellor to form research group in the university. We have 400 faculty members. So what I did, I entered everybody's research area into the ChatGPT. I made a table and entered. Then said, can you suggest within School of Physics who can talk to who and come up with the area of research so that they can do collaboratively. It fantastically gave within the school, in across the school, within the university, for right. Then I said it. So it suggested these people can work with this problem, and you can submit a proposal to this funding agency. Everything it can.
But after that may be wrong. Problem
Yeah,
is what suggested is right. It has
this is the
suggested
initial
you,
version,
but
zeroth
there
version.
can be errors. There can be errors. You have to verify that yourself.
Yes. Now
But
zeroth version.
he gave you something, right?
Thank you, sir. It was very nice actually.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Sahu sir, namaskar.
নমস্কার ভালো আছো
So
Oh, sir.
if there is no more questions, shall I leave? We can
Yes.
leave.
Yeah.
yes
Yes.
yes
Yes.
thank you
So
very
Thank you.
much
once
Thank
again,
you.
a big round of applause for you for all the
Mm.
effort that you have put in the
Yes.
Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manas sir
Thank you.
also.
Thank you.
Samarat Babu, thank you so much.
Once